Hi, everyone, and thanks so much for joining me today. Today, we're going to give you some tips on how to have productive conversations with your scholar around their work habits and school life. Parents are the biggest influencers on their child to make positive choices in life and in school. There are many benefits to having discussions with students in that it helps with their processing of academic content learned throughout the day. In addition, by talking to your student about what they're working on helps with their metacognition or their awareness and understanding of their own thought process. As a parent, discussions are also subtle ways of getting reads on how your student is doing and what's going on in their lives. Lastly, by taking an interest in your student's academic life, it shows them that you value school, which in turn encourages them to also value it as well. Sometimes students need guidance on getting started with their work and studies at home. To assist with this, here are some sentence starters to get the conversations going and around completing their work. You could ask them, show me your homework planner or homework organizer. And when you do this, you want to look for signs of usage, right? If it's completely blank, you want to say to them, that's interesting. There's nothing written here. What do you have to do? Let's contact a friend and make sure they write it down. Another way of starting that conversation is show me the assignment you have to do. Physically have them hold it up, and you can kind of get an idea of what they're supposed to be working on. And lastly, let's check your grades together. It's a really good idea to always check in on their grades and doing this together to see kind of what's happening. If there's a really low grade, you can say, time to show me the work or what you need to do for that class so we can get you back on.
Okay, Colette, can I see your organizer before you start on your homework?
No.
Well, you know what the rules of the house are. You don't get screen time until you finish your homework. So I need to see that organizer so I know whether or not you have finished your homework. All right, I understand why you were hesitant to show me. There's nothing in there. Do you remember any of the assignments you had for this evening?
Mm-hmm.
So could you tell me about them?
I have to do math homework in the green textbook, and then for science, we have to write a paragraph, and ELA, I'm reading a book.
Well, it sounds like you have the general idea of what you have to do. Maybe you could call a friend just to check on the details of what you need to do.
That's a great idea. One second.
Did you write down their number in the front of your planner?
I did. I will check that. Checking. Mom, I called Diego and I got my homework. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I have math in my textbook. I have to do page 235, numbers 1 through 20, all the odd ones. In science, I have to finish the Cheeto lab. For ELA, I have to do Shakespeare and read Act 2, and then there's a quiz tomorrow. And then in history, I have to do the worksheet that was given to me by Professor Woods. And I have to do parts 1 and part
2. It looks like you have about half an hour of work for each subject. Is there anything you're going to need my help with?
Math was a little challenging today. That geometry was kind of tough, but let me try it. I think I can do it first, and then maybe I'll think about showing it to you later if I have a question.
All right. Remember, Midsummer Night's Dream was my favorite Shakespearean play, so I can always help you prepare for that quiz.
Okay.
All right. I'll check in with you in about an hour to see how things are going.
Thank you. Bye. I'm going to go to my room now. Once homework is completed, the conversations don't just end there. We're not asking you to check the work, but as parents, you'll want to skim the work and make sure that everything is completed and that there's enough information that's being provided by the student. So you could easily just say to them, let me just see your completed assignment, just hold it up. And from there, you'll be able to see, what they did, whether it's completed or not. Something else you could say is, all right, you've completed your homework, can you summarize what you did? And you can go into the specifics of each class, or you can just ask them to give you a general overall summary. I finished my homework. I'm gonna go play on my Xbox now. My friends are waiting for me so we can play World of Warriors.
1 minute before you go off to the world of warriors. Let's see your completed assignment.
Okay, fine, but really fast.
It doesn't have to be any quicker, any slower for me to see you really did not finish your Cheeto lab.
Yes, I did. I wrote, I answered every question. I mean, I abbreviated a little and she didn't say that I had to write more than a sentence. I got it done.
That's very different from the conversation that you and I had with your professor last month. She's concerned that you're not putting in enough information, particularly on your procedures. I think you need to revisit that. Is there something I can do to help you? Or maybe you need to call a friend. Well, all right, so that needs more work. Can you tell me a little bit about math and the geometry? Can you just kind of give me a summary of what geometry was about?
Yeah, I had different shapes and I had to find the areas of all of them. And I had to do it for triangles and squares and parallelograms. And so for the triangles, the formula is 1/2 base times height. And for the parallelograms, there's another formula for it, which is written down in my notes. And for the rectangles and the squares, it's base area equals base times height. But I know where I can find the parallelogram formula, which I wrote on the top of my page.
It sounds like you have math under control. I'm really proud of you, Colette. Nice job. Do you want any help studying for Midsummer Night's Dream quiz?
No, I can watch the YouTube video on it later. The summary one from the BBC.
How about tomorrow morning before you leave? I just ask you a couple of questions to see how ready you are.
Fine.
All right.
But only a couple.
Get back to science. Once I see that you've done it well, you're back on that screen with your friends.
Okay, fine.
General conversations around school are vital, and parents should never feel that they are imposing. It is totally your job to impose. Make sure you push on and really get those details. You want to find out, what did you learn at school today? How is this specific class? How is math? How is English? What topics are you studying? What book are you reading? What was the demonstration that occurred in science lab today? And, again, what are some books you're reading in English class or whatever other classes you're taking? Also, it's important to know that the conversation around school doesn't just stop at academics. You should press on and ask about, what did you do at recess? Who are you hanging out with? Are they in your classes? Do you guys study together? Get those details. Also asking about if they're in any after school activities, how was play practice? How was basketball practice? What did you do? Did you guys scrimmage? How was the game? Stuff like that.
Did you hand in your math project today?
Yep.
Is Professor Woods back? You said he was absent yesterday.
Did
you have fun at lunch today?
Yeah, it's my favorite subject.
Do you have a lot of homework tonight?
Duh.
The clip you just saw is an example of the type of conversations you want to avoid. Don't just ask yes or no questions. Don't accept short answer responses. And make sure that the student is engaged when you're talking to them to make sure that they are processing what is being said. In the next clip, you will see an example of the type of conversation you do want to have with your scholar.
So how was school today?
It was good.
So can you take a moment? I mean, I know I made some good chicken, but can you tell me about what you did?
Well, today, Professor Hammond had to go home because his dog was really sick. So we had a sub, and the sub was kind of boring, but we worked in little groups and we read some of our Midsummer Night Dream. So we learned a lot about the characters.
And then after I went to math class and I learned about how to measure parallelograms since we're learning about geometry. And then,
Oh, I
and
love
science.
that. And how was your geometry project? Did you get
Oh,
any
Professor Moscow
feedback?
like loved it, obviously. I mean, I did this amazing origami like structure where I had to take areas of different parts and then afterwards I had to like show him that I knew how to total all the areas, but mine was like really intricate compared to everyone else's because I had like the triangle shape sizes attached to the hexagonal structure. So, I mean,
I was
it was
really
pretty
proud.
impressive.
I was really proud of the work you did on that project, and I'm glad to hear you got some good feedback on it. You must feel really good about yourself.
Yeah, actually, we're having Family STEAM Science Night conference soon, and Professor Moscow kind of asked me to present it, so I think I might do that.
Colette, that's wonderful news. Do you have a date? I want to go.
Yeah, in 2 weeks. I'm sure you'll get a email from the parent-teacher coordinator. She's pretty good about sending those emails.
I'm so glad. You know, you really turned yourself around in math and showed yourself to be a great math student. I wonder what some of those things that you did were. I mean, maybe we could use it in science to help you turn things around there.
Well, it was kind of helpful that you asked me to write down my homework and you made me show it to you.
Are you
And
saying your mother was right? Wait, stop. I want to record this. Are you saying that mom was right?
maybe, but Professor Moscow helped with it too.
And it was using what you already had inside. And that's really why we do this and why I ask these questions. I want you to be the best person you can be. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
Conversations around academics doesn't just have to happen around those times when students are completing their academics. It's really important to kind of have those conversations all the time. So it could be during a meal, it could be from traveling from one place to another, whether you're in a car or if you're riding the subway together. Sometimes killing time in the grocery store, just kind of getting a quick overall feel, and sometimes even just doing a quick check-in before bed or even when they wake up. So again, the conversation around school doesn't just evolve around doing the schoolwork itself. It can happen at any time of day, and it is strongly encouraged. Thanks so much for learning with us today. If you have any questions or want more assistance, please feel free to contact us via email executivefunctionscholar@gmail.com. Be sure to also check out our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more videos, resources, and tips. See you next time. Bye.